Yeah, it is. Okay, hi Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So like I was saying earlier, I did not expect you to come on. I thought we were just talking on the phone. So I'm glad that you want to come on and talk to me. Like I said, we've been friends for a minute. We
Yeah.
met through an interview. We both live in Vegas. We
Yep.
are
And you've asked me on about 100 times, and I always say no.
I know, I know. So I got to take you when I can get you. We're both a little under the weather. What's wrong with you today?
I have a really bad case of COVID.
And
Really,
you're sure it's COVID?
100%. Got the test results back a couple of days ago, and yeah, I got a really high fever, and breathing's becoming an issue at this point.
Yeah.
Um, I really, like we talked about in the past. I mean, I wear a mask everywhere, so
Yeah.
I have no idea how I got it, but it's. I don't wish this on anybody. This is horrible.
But here's the thing, Matt. I think I got it too. I've had 104 fever. Does it hurt to breathe?
Oh God, yeah, it hurts. It hurts to breathe a lot. And you know, the fever thing is. It's funny you say that because my fever was at 104 yesterday, and I would fall asleep and I'd wake up in just a puddle of sweat, and then 2 hours later it'd be spiked up again, and it's just horrible. It's really
Yeah.
bad.
What are
So
you taking? I'm taking Baier aspirin. It helps
they,
with the fever.
well, I'm allergic to aspirin, so they told me to take Tylenol. They told me not to take ibuprofen because there's a chance, I guess, that ibuprofen could make the symptoms of COVID worse. So
No.
I've been that's what they say. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but so I've been taking a lot of Tylenol to get the fever down, and the fever does come down a little bit, but it spikes right back up.
I don't even know how you got to the doctor. I'm too sick to go to the doctor.
I went to one of those drive-through testing sites. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was like 150 bucks. They shoved the thing up your nose, and you get the results the next
Did
day.
it really go up your nose? Did it
Oh
hurt?
yeah. No, it didn't hurt. I mean, you got this long thing up your nose. You got to swirl it around for 15 seconds, and it pulls out all kinds of goodness. So it's and then yeah, I knew that I had it because when I called for my test results, the answer I got is the doctor will call you in a few minutes.
Oh God.
So
I'm feeling better on and off, but we got to stay in the house and in the bed. Now, how weird is that we're sick at the same time? Oh, I have an extra symptom. Can you see all my blood vessels that are broken?
I can, I
They,
can.
I mean, do you have that?
No,
That
no, I don't have any broken blood vessels, but my big thing is the fever, and the breathing's getting progressively worse.
yeah, yeah.
And they told me if it gets to the point where it becomes a real struggle, I have to go into the hospital. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen because I don't want to take up a bed from somebody who really needs it, you know. But
Yeah, I know.
this
It's
is more
bad.
it's more scary than anything else, I
It
think.
really is.
You
I
know,
mean,
when you read about it on the news, and you know, you might know a few people have been asymptomatic, but when it hits you in the face like this,
yeah,
I mean, I was literally thinking last night, geez, this is a serious thing, you
yeah.
know. So I just hope that nobody in your audience has to deal with this, but it's horrible. It's
It's the
absolutely horrible.
worst. The only way I can describe it is it hurts to breathe.
Yes,
It hurts.
and I
It
can't
really
taste
hurts.
or smell anything, which
Oh
is
my God, what
really
if we
weird.
had a flu, Matt?
Yeah,
I can't taste anything.
nothing. It's the weirdest thing. I can't like I cooked some soup this morning, and I couldn't smell or taste the thing. It was just basically it was like bland and watery. You know what I mean? It was terrible.
So
So
we're on the phone, two sickies talking about. So me and you, uh, both live in Vegas, share a lot of the same associates. I'm not even call them friends because
yeah,
as you know, through me and through other people, the world of YouTube is crazy. The world of reality TV is even worse, which you were on team. Isn't it crazy?
it's ridiculous.
So we get on the phone every day, me and you,
Yeah.
every other day, whatever, and we go, okay, what problems did you have today?
Well, it's funny because you ask me the same question every day. You say, Matt, please make sense of this. I
Make
can't
it
make
make
sense
sense.
of the stuff that's going on. I mean, I get calls and messages from people. Did you see this? And no, I didn't. But some of it is just insanity, man. It's
Here's
just
the thing I want to say about you before we start talking about our problems is that people talk about me on a daily basis.
yeah.
And I call to you every day and I vent and I get upset and sometimes I react back. You don't say anything
No.
for years. And you got how many followers on your Twitter account?
Oh, I don't know, 70,000 or something. I haven't tweeted in a couple of years, but
You have a huge audience, is the point I'm trying to make. And ignore. People have said the most vicious lies
That's all
about,
right.
and I say, Matt, say something, and you say no. Why?
Because I don't care. I really don't. I mean, the people that say this stuff about me, I'm part of my life. You know, it's like you and I have talked about. We both live in Vegas, and I've been on the Vegas Strip a billion times. And not one time have I ever walked down the street and heard somebody say to me, "Hey, you know what I read about you the other day? This stuff doesn't seep into my real life." I mean, who cares? And the people that I see that take this stuff so seriously, I kind of feel bad for them. You know, it's so sad if your life is to wake up every day and find out what internet drama is happening. Who cares? I mean,
How do you
there's
deal with
people dying right now from a global pandemic, and we're
right?
worried about what somebody said about somebody on a reality TV show. Pfft, who cares? I don't care.
That's your
Doesn't bother
attitude
me.
towards everything. And I'll be
Really
like,
doesn't.
this, how do you handle people saying things about you that don't even know you?
How do I handle? I just ignore it. You know, these are people that I'm not going to run into tomorrow. You know, it's not like these people are infecting my everyday life. You know what I mean? It's if people feel like they want to say something about me, at least make it entertaining. You know, I mean, don't do the typical he's a douchebag. I mean, make it interesting, and I'll give you props for that. But I just don't care. I mean, there's other people that get it bad too, and I feel really bad for them because they don't handle it well. Tracie being one of them. So,
Let's talk about some of the people that we know
all
that we
right.
know. I met you. Oh God. Oh, I called you and asked you for an interview. I
Yeah.
can't remember what I was talking about. And
Oh, I remember.
go
I,
ahead. I don't remember.
we were talking about Katie Joy.
Oh God, I
Oh.
forgot. Isn't that weird how we met and we never talk about her anymore? But
Yeah, that's funny. That's the other thing. I think that I've heard from people that Katie firmly believes that, like you and I talk about her, we never speak about her. I had no idea what was going on with her until probably 2 weeks ago when
yeah,
people started telling me. And I know this isn't what we're talking about, but I just want to say real quick, you're going to be shocked at my opinion on all this.
go ahead.
I actually wish people would just leave this woman alone. Enough's enough, you know,
Why do you feel bad for her?
because she's, from what I've heard, she's taking a beating right now,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody deserves that. Nobody. And whether you agree with her or disagree with the way she does her job, you can have that opinion, but openly attacking the woman, it's just wrong. I'm sorry. And listen, she's not my favorite person. You know, we're not going to lunch anytime soon, but
No.
I understand she's in the middle of a lawsuit right now. And I don't know if I want to be, you know, live in a world where people get sued for giving their opinion on something. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know all the facts. I don't know who this other person is. I don't know anything about that. But when the internet starts to bleed into real life like that, now it's becoming real. You
Well, you
know, and
have a different outlook. Some other people can look at it this way: that she tortured people for years.
she tortured me for years. And
She did.
you know what?
Really brought chaos and hardship into their life, and people lose sympathy for someone like that.
But
But
you know
you
what,
don't.
Sharrell? I don't think there's anybody who got it from her worse than I did. And if there is, I
It,
apologize. I just don't
you
fall with
got
that
it
person.
bad.
And
Sometimes I feel like when she's bored, she goes, "What should I do?" Oh, Matt Baier.
yeah, yeah. I have nothing to talk about today. Oh, Matt's a scumbag. Hey, everybody watch. I mean, who cares? It never bothered me. I've said it the last time we talked about this. I have zero ill feelings about Katie. Zero. The woman's trying to do a job to support her family. Whether you agree or disagree with how she does it, that's the way she chooses to do it. And going on her social media and attacking her the way people are is just, I think it's wrong, but that's just me. It's just my opinion.
Yeah, you have to treat people the way you want to be treated, and so she deserves her own. You have to treat people with respect and kindness, or you'll get it back. It's no need for
Right.
viciousness and meanness and lies
Uh,
because it affects people.
Sherelle, I think that people can point out very specific incidents that we've all done wrong in life.
This is true.
I don't think that that's an overall indication of who a person is. You know, Katie is an internet figure. You know, we don't know what she's like in her real life. And I think it's presumptuous for anybody to say that. Remember, she's a wife, she's a mom, and she's supporting her family. If you
And
don't
you
like
have
what
to,
she's doing, don't
act a
watch.
certain way. We're going to always argue about this because you have to present your way and treat people the way you want to be treated. And when people just say vicious things for you, personally attack you for no reason because they want to get paid or whatever their reasons are, that you can't treat people like that.
But you can also choose to not watch. You know what I mean?
You have to remember also too, you have a high tolerance for pain.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty much numb at this point.
Yeah, you are. And some people aren't cut from that cloth. And some people really, when you could say something mean to someone and you don't know how deeply that's going to affect that person.
No,
you just don't.
I understand. I just know that nothing that's been said about me was thought about 5 minutes later.
I know. That's why I'm glad you're on the show. We need to talk because we share some of the same friends. We know a lot of the same people. You were on Teen Mom. You were on Marriage Boot Camp. You're a television figure. And so we know a lot of reality TV people in the same fields. And one day I was doing an interview. I think it was with Tracie by herself. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Tracie by herself, and you were listening to the interview, and I call you after the interview like I always do. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Go ahead.
And I called you and I was like, oh, I did this interview, and you said, oh, let me talk to her to explain how that conversation went.
What do you mean how the conversation went? About when you talked to me about her?
You said that it seems like she could use a sponsor or what do you call it, a life coach?
Tracie needs a life coach. There's no question about it. I'll tell you what I know about Tracie. I mean, I thought it was public knowledge that, I dated for Tracie for probably a week and we've remained very good friends after that. I like Tracie a lot. And I've said this to you privately that of all the people that I've met, I don't think I've met a lot of people that have a kinder heart than Tracie does. She doesn't always make the best decisions. Yeah. That being said, I have a lot of admiration for her because of anybody I've ever met. Nobody lives their life more unapologetically than Tracie does. Tracie is what she is, and she does not care who disagrees with it. That being said, she has not really inherited the gene of ignoring all the negativity.
Yeah.
And she kind of thrives off of that. She still believes that engaging and interacting with bad people is going to shut them down, when in reality she's just feeding these people. I mean, look at how much attention that vile human being Jen has got off of Tracie. Nobody would know. Actually, nobody really knows who the hell she is anyway, but nobody would know who Jen was if Tracie didn't engage with her. Mm-hmm.
That's just how you live your life, Matt. People don't let things go. Some people take it to bed.
But where's the winner, Sharrell? Where's the winner in this? Tracie is living the life that she wants to live. She's in Vegas. She's gambling. She's got a new boyfriend that she's happy with. She's doing her OnlyFans thing. Where does she have time in the day to deal with crazy people like Jen? I don't understand that. If anybody would look at it, this woman spends her entire day focused on her boyfriend's ex-wife.
You're talking about Clint Brady.
Right? Yeah, that's sociopathic as far as I'm concerned. And honestly, seriously, if you're so concerned about Tracie and Clint, why the hell are you giving her this much attention? Why don't you focus on your man who, from what I understand, isn't real focused on you? Do better is what. Stay off the internet and stop trying to trash everybody and look in a mirror and realize that Tracie is not your problem. Your boyfriend's lack of interest in you is the problem. That's the issue. So she loves to talk about me. She loves to talk about everybody else. And the woman sits on the internet and chain smokes and hacks up a lung and complains about health issues and begs for money and then attacks Tracie. And I just wish Tracie would just simply ignore her. You're giving attention to just, when she was on your show, I remember you and I talked about it, and I literally said, why are you doing this? I give it 24 hours before she turns on you. And it was 18 hours later that she turned on you. I don't understand. She's very good at making people believe she's some sort of a victim. The only victim she's a victim of her own bullshit. is what she is. She wants attention so desperately, and Tracie unfortunately gives it to her. Tracie's got a good life.
I
She
want
should
you to
deal with it.
explain this to people because it's hard for people to understand. Tracie has drug issues. It's just
Yeah.
the way it is. But tell people how kind she is. It's
Oh.
really weird. I've never seen nothing like it.
I'm gonna tell you a story about Tracie that'll tell you everything you need to know. So my my dog of 16 years that I was been with for every day for 16 years got really sick earlier this year, and I had to put him down. Tracie is the one that actually helped. She went to the vet with me. She held the dog while I was driving. She literally stood by me as I went to pieces. And this woman was so kind and caring. And we weren't dating at the time. We were just friends. And she would check on me and call me every day to see if I was okay. And very, very selfless. She really is a selfless person. She can be a shithead. I mean, but we all can. And sometimes Tracie makes decisions that just make me shake my head. But again, she doesn't apologize for it. She literally says, if people don't like the way I live my life, that's tough. They don't have to follow me. And so I have some respect for that. I really do.
Okay, so I was telling you about an interview I was doing with Tracie, and you said I want to talk to her because you felt like she needed, what did you call it?
She was a life coach, big time.
What made you want to do that? And what makes you think?
Because I adore Tracie as a person. I really do. I've spent enough time with her as her friend and seen her in real life, that, not internet life, to know that you're not going to find a nicer person. Tracie's the type of, tell you another quick story about Tracie. I met up with Tracie one time down on the strip. And she was going to go play slots or whatever she does. And she said, why don't you come down and hang out for a while? This is maybe 5 months ago. So, excuse me. I went down, and Tracie at that time probably had $100 to her name at this time. I don't know what she's doing now, but at this particular time. And she said to me, here, I bought you a new mask. And I said, well, what'd you buy me a mask for? She said, well, I wasn't sure if you had one. I wanted to make sure you stay safe. I looked at the price tag. It was a $20 mask. She spent 1/5 of her net worth buying a mask for me that I didn't even need. But that's just how Tracie is.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt. When a person is an addict, do they hurt themselves the most than they do other people?
Oh, God, yeah, I did. Absolutely.
Are they aware of that they're hurting themselves?
Yeah, we just don't care, though. That's the thing.
Matt?
It means we can convince ourselves that what we're doing isn't going to affect us like it would affect other people. I mean, we can literally see other addicts destroying their lives, and we will convince ourselves that's not going to happen to me, but it happened to me. And it's you, when they say you hit rock bottom, man, I tell you, you hit rock bottom, and then you literally question, how the hell did this happen to me? Of course, you already know how it did. You know what I mean? Tracie, I don't think is there yet. I have no information whether or not what she's using and how often she's using. I don't know anything about that. But I haven't heard Tracie say she's clean. And my concern for her is, and you and I have talked about this, my concern for Tracie is that someday we're going to wake up and there's going to be an article out there that Tracie was found dead in a hotel room. That scares me for her. But
I want you to tell people just how much it scares you and how much we talk about it. And why
we talk about it a lot. I mean, I think it's been a long time since Tracie and I have sat down and had a conversation, probably 2 months since we've really talked. But I texted you the other day and said I heard from Tracie and she's okay. But in that month and a half time frame when I didn't hear from her, you know this, we were worried about her because she wasn't very active on social media. She's usually very chatty. Hey, I just want to see if you guys are having a good day, so on and so forth. And when Tracie drops off the face of the earth, my mind goes to two places. One, she's in jail, or two, she OD'd. And as a friend, that concerns me about her. But she also knows this concerns me. She knows it concerns you. And Tracie will get better when she wants to get better. And nobody's going to force her to do it. She's one of those people that if you tell her 1,000 times, you shouldn't do this, she's going to do it 1,001 times. And she believes that this is what she wants to do with her life. And
what happens when you're the friend watching what's going on and you feel helpless? Did they tell you how do you deal with that when it's not you're watching someone else?
You can't let it overtake you. I mean, you have to just realize this is going to happen whether you worry about it or not. So you really can't give that much energy to it, honestly. Excuse me. But she, I don't know. I mean, when I first met Tracie, I didn't know what to make of her. And, you know, because I fell into the trap everyone else did. And it's maybe the same trap people fall in about me, where all I knew about her was that, oh, she had drug problems and she was on a TV show. After spending 10 minutes with her, I'm like, this woman is nothing like people say she is. She flies off at the mouth sometimes. You know, she puts a little too much of her life on social media. But that's not all her. You know, I mean, I've spent a good amount of time with Tracie just sitting around and talking. And
she's funny. Yeah.
She's really funny and self-deprecating big time. She's just unapologetic about who she is. And I think more people should be like that. You know, you don't owe anybody an explanation for how you live your life. I may not agree with it. You may not agree with it, but she seems happy to me. So,
and when she goes missing and we don't know where she is, we worry, don't we?
Yeah. Well, I know that we've talked about this for sure. And at first, when she would disappear, I would get really worried because when she first came to Vegas, we were the only friends she had. But what I learned about Tracie real quick is she has no trouble making friends. You know, she's got her own little circle now, and good for her. You know, she's very likable. I think Tracie really enjoys the casino life. She likes to walk around and take pictures with people. She likes to sit at a slot machine for 10 hours a day, and she likes to get noticed, and that's good. She's earned that right. You know, I just think that she engages the people she should not engage. You know, and we've discussed this innumerable times. So I don't know. She's good people, and I see some of the comments that people put on her social media, and I just kind of laugh because they honestly don't know what a good person she is. Very good people make very bad life choices.
And we get frustrated because we just want people to leave her alone. She already has her struggle.
And I think people know how to push Tracie's buttons, and she has not gained the ability yet to not let stuff bother her. You know, and I don't know. I've said this. I said this on when I interviewed with Katie one time with regards to my ex Amber, and I'll say this with regards to Tracie. You can hate the behavior, but don't hate the person, because sometimes the actions are not indicative of what the person is really like, in my opinion. And I think Tracie is a prime example of that. She is a wonderful person who occasionally makes horribly bad decisions, but Tracie also knows how to deal with the repercussions of that. You know what I mean? I don't think Tracie's afraid at this point in her life of the consequences of her actions. So she's a grown woman. She's 40 years old.
Earlier we were talking about Katie. Katie has nothing to do with this, but we were just saying, you said you feel bad for her, and I say you have to watch how you treat people. That goes for Jen too. She's just being just you have to watch how you treat people, because what comes around goes around, and we all make mistakes in life, and we all need a helping hand. And I think some people forget that these internet people get so crazy and they just want to, I don't know, fame. I don't know what would make someone.
I have never met anybody in my life who craves attention more than that Jen girl. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've had a few conversations with her, and I got to be honest with you. Anytime I've talked to her, she's always been nice to me, at least to my face.
To your face.
Yeah. And who cares? But I mean, I've literally heard her say, you know, it's so tough being with a celebrity like Clint. Huh? Didn't the guy work for UPS like a month ago? I'm sorry. I think that, I don't know. I mean, I have no issue with Clint at all. None. No. I don't know the guy. I think I might have had like 1 5-second conversation with him, and he was nice to me.
Yeah.
I mean, Tracie says nice things about him, which, you know, I think
that's weird.
It's really weird. Tracie, anytime she's talked about Clint, I've never heard her say a bad thing about the dude. Yeah. You know, and I think that Tracie likes to turn the screws to Jen a little bit by posting things on social media like, "Oh, my husband, wherever he may be." I got news for you. Tracie doesn't give a shit where Clint is. She really doesn't care.
You're married, right?
As far as I know, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know, but this Jen girl, I mean, that dude needs to wake up and look across the other side of the bed and realize that monster you're laying next to, because that chick is cracked, man. I'm telling you, I have never. You know what I've noticed about her? She latches on to people like a friggin' barnacle. And then the next day, she's always fighting with these people. She
Yeah.
was with your ex-employee Amber for a while. They were as close as two people can be. Next thing you know, they're at each other's throat. She's on your show talking garbage. 2 days later, they're making up again. This is like, I've never seen anything like it. It's exhausting. I'm telling you, it's absolutely exhausting. And you know me, I don't say bad things about people. I just kind of call it like I see it. My experience with that woman is she is just cracked.
Would it be a fair statement that you just want people, especially Jen, to leave her alone?
Leave Tracie alone?
Yeah.
I mean, she's not gonna. So this is her. When your claim to fame is talking about Tracie Wagaman, you need to really reevaluate your life decisions. I mean, if this is what you focus on every day is getting up and what is going on with Tracie, I guarantee you Tracie doesn't wake up every day saying, gee, I really wonder what Jen's up to. No, Tracie's in her hotel room doing whatever Tracie does, doing her OnlyFans or whatever the hell she's doing. I mean, Tracie doesn't care. She gets triggered by Jen. That's pretty obvious. But Jen is just, I don't know. She's just a boil on the ass of humanity. And
what?
She's I'm telling you, she's everything that's wrong with the internet. She really is.
Oh my God, Matt. This is another reason I talk to you every day. You are hilarious. Now listen, Tracie has real life problems going on. A lot of people have real life problems going on. And I understand why you have a tendency to ignore the haters because you have to attend to real life. You look really thin. You lost a lot of weight. Do you want to say how you did it?
Yeah, I lost, I think I'm at 62 pounds now. So last time you and I talked, I think I was 210. No, I'm sorry, probably like 58 pounds. Yeah, or whatever it was. I'm about 152 now. So I've lost. I'm sorry, my math is off because I'm dying of COVID. But no, the way I did it was I completely changed my lifestyle. Once the gyms reopened here in Vegas, I hit the gym every day and I completely changed my eating habits. And so I think it's been since when did they open up? Sorry, my cat's going crazy behind me. He's chasing the light from my phone. Well, I think they opened up in May, at the end of May. And so I've been to the gym every day except the last couple of days because I've been sick with this. And it's completely changed my lifestyle. And which I think is a good thing because I've never been in better shape in my life. And I think it's going to help with this illness now. I hope it does anyway.
Well, this is worse. Like it really hurts to breathe. I can't explain it. I've been down 4 days. Hopefully, I don't know. How long have you been down?
I've only been down now a couple of days because I didn't realize that I had it because I had no symptoms until about 48 hours ago. I just got real sick real fast. And it's been progressively getting worse.
You're right. It happens very quickly. It's like, oh, okay, I don't feel good. Something's happening here. And then like an hour later, you're full on can't stand up mode. That's how I felt.
I'm having the problem where once the fever's up, if I get out from under a blanket or whatever, I get the chill so bad that it feels like my bones are going to shatter. It's the worst feeling in the world. And then it makes you nauseous. And so it's terrible. It's terrible. I know that there's a lot of people have died from this and a lot of people have lost family members and
scary.
My heart breaks for them. It really does. Because I know there are people out there too and I have friends that still don't think this is a big deal, that, think that wearing a mask is infringing on their freedom.
Oh yeah.
All I would say is I hope and pray that they don't get it because I personally have never felt anything like this. So
if we could bring some positivity to this conversation that we're having, and you're someone that deals with someone that's struggling, what kind of advice would we give them?
Struggling with what?
Addiction.
Oh, well, get help. Addiction is really hard.
What if you're not in a position to get help? Then what do you do?
Surround yourself with people that will convince you need to get help. I struggled with that for a lot of years, Sharrell, and I famously had a number of relapses over my time. And I tell you, overcoming addiction is really difficult. So if you are a person that has an addict in your life, I really wish you could give patience when dealing with that person.
What does that mean, Matt? We got to.
It means they're gonna screw
What if
up.
I'm 14 years old right now and I'm watching this and I have a mom that's struggling with addiction? What do you tell me?
Be patient with her, support her, love her, and understand that she is gonna screw up. And it's not personal. It's really not. I don't know any addicts that purposely go out to hurt anybody. I hurt a lot of people in my life, and I never one time said, I really think I'll go out and hurt people today. It'll be fun. No, you don't. But addicts are very selfish. Active addicts are very, very selfish. And the most important thing that we want is to get our fix then and there. Going through recovery is the most difficult thing that I've ever had to do, and I've had to do it a few times.
You had the sources to get recovery. Some people are broke, Matt. Especially
well, in all honesty, I was broke when I went through recovery the first time. You don't need money. What you need is the mental wherewithal to say, I'm not going to do this again, and then do your research on what you're about to go through physically, depending on what drug you're on. The withdrawals, the mental anguish, the emotional ups and downs, and
but that's from the addict's point of view. Again, what if I'm the 14-year-old girl at home and my mom is just
love your mom. Love your mom and understand that she's not doing this to hurt you. And she's going to fail a few times, 9 out of 10 times.
Why are you saying it's very important to hold some kind of compassion for that person? Why do you
because addicts are people like anybody else. And there's nothing worse than trying to get clean and feel like you're doing it when you've destroyed every relationship in your life. If you don't have a support system of any kind, it makes it that much more difficult. When I relapsed a few times, I got to tell you, I was with Amber at the time, and Amber was an amazing support system for me when I relapsed a few times. And mind you, she was a little bit more aggressive than most support systems. But that being said, she had gone through it many times, so she understood what I was going through. Not everybody has another addict in their life that can speak on their experiences. But if you really want to get clean, I would recommend getting yourself a sponsor and going through a 12-step program. Even if you're not a spiritual person, surround yourselves with people who have a lot of recovery in their lives, because you're not going to learn better than from somebody who's already done it. And addicts come in all shapes, sizes, creeds, sexualities, everything. Find somebody that you can relate to and just tell them it, and try to remember that there's nothing that you can tell them that's going to shock them. They're not going to say, oh, I've never heard that before. Chances are they've done it 100 times over. So you can't be embarrassed. You just have to say, listen, this is what I'm doing, and I'm destroying my life and other people's lives. And if you screw up, don't beat yourself up over it. It's not worth it, because now you're just adding more on top of your already struggling problem. So addiction is a tough thing. And the other thing I've always said about addicts is there are people out there who look down on addicts. Oh, they're weak. Not really. It's unless you've been through it, I can't really describe what it's like to have your body literally crave something to just function. It's the worst feeling in the world. And maybe taking that one pill or that one line or whatever is going to make you function for the day.
Pain physically?
What's that? Say that again.
You physically feel ill.
Oh, withdrawals are the worst. They're the absolute worst. I mean, opiate withdrawal, which is what I've been through a few times, won't kill you. But boy, you're going to wish you were dead after about day 2. I can't even describe what it's like. You can't rest. Your whole body hurts. You sweat, but you're cold, and you're living on the toilet. It's the worst thing if you can get an hour of sleep while you're going through withdrawals, then you're doing pretty good. I know that alcohol withdrawal can actually kill people. So if you're struggling with alcohol, you need to get medical help. You can't just go through that alone. But I remember the first time I went through recovery, the doctor said to me, you're about to have the worst 10 days of your life. Are you ready for this? I said, sure. It's going to be no problem for me. Jesus, I quit after about the first 7 hours. It was horrible. I thought to myself, I have to go through 10 days of this? What are you, nuts? Mm-hmm. When there's a pill bottle 10 feet away, that's so much easier. But the other thing I would say is how somebody handles their recovery and their addiction is their business. I see a lot of people say, well, because you're an addict, you can't do X, Y, and Z. And the example I'll use is people used to say to Amber all the time, well, you can't drink because you were an opiate addict. Well, I personally wouldn't, but she didn't have a problem with alcohol. So what I'm saying is everybody's recovery is different. You know, it doesn't matter how they get there. It's just the end result that matters. You know what I mean? So, but I can tell you, if you're an addict out there, I promise you, sober life is better. It's not always as exciting. I mean, but
That's terrible, man.
no, it's really not.
Honest, it's honest, yeah.
I'm home a lot of Saturday nights now. Actually, all Saturday nights now. When I was never home back in the addict days, or the using days. But I'm good with that. You know, I'm happy with that. You get more accomplished, and you know the decisions you're making, no matter what they are decisions you've made. You know, cognitively, you've thought about them. I made a lot of bad decisions when I was high, and I also look back on it now, and I can't say I made all of those bad decisions because I was high. It just didn't help. You know, I mean, my heart goes out to anybody who's struggling with addiction right now. And if you have an addict in your life who's just not ready yet, you can't push them. Most of us get ready at some point. Something happens in our life. And I've told the story a million times of what happened to me, how I knew. My daughter was very young, and she had a school play or a school musical thing. And she asked me not to come. I'll never forget it. And I said, why would you not want me to come? And she said, because you're always doing drugs, Daddy. Changed my life. Changed my life. Because I didn't think at the time, my 7-year-old daughter knew that I had a problem with addiction. I never forgot it. And it broke my heart. I remember I cried and cried and cried. I think my own daughter doesn't want me around. She thinks I'm going to embarrass her. And I look back now, and God knows how many times I did embarrass her. You know, whether it's cheering too loud at a school play and making myself the center of attention, or just saying something stupid that I shouldn't have said. And
I've known you a while now, and I've never seen you high a day in my life. But
No.
Every time we talk about addiction, you always say we. Why?
Because addicts, in a weird way, are kind of like one big dysfunctional family. And once you're an addict, you're always an addict. I mean, it's not something that goes away.
Are you saying you still crave it? What do you mean?
No, I personally don't, but I'm still an addict. The bottom line is addiction still affects my life and my life choices, and it always will. Addiction is a disease that will never be cured. It's just managed. And I have no desire to get high right now. I can't say that won't change tomorrow, but right now I have no desire for it. I don't wake up in the morning and say, geez, I really wish I could get high. No interest at all. But I know that if you surround yourself, or you're around other addicts enough, the reason I say it's like a big family is you're all the same. You all have the same things in common. I've been to a lot of NA meetings and in my time, and the stories that get told during those are the same basically for everybody. The players just change.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a lot in common with one another. And that's why I don't look down on people that have addiction problems. I mean, I see people give Tracie a lot of crap for the stuff that she does. And again, I don't know what she does. That's between Tracie and whatever. But I know that people make a lot of assumptions. Oh, you're a bad person because you do this. No, some of the best people I know are active addicts. Some of the nicest, warmest people I've ever met. They're just self-destructive.
Yeah, I look at it as a disease.
I know a lot of sober people I wouldn't give the time of day to, Jen Bailey. Anyway.
What do you have to say before we will start wrapping this up? What do you have to say that to people that are just mean to people, bully people, and because your words could really affect someone? If you were a fly on the wall, what would you say to Jen and all of this craziness she's putting Tracie through? What would you say to her?
Get your own house in order before you decide to screw with somebody else's. Because something tells me the dysfunction in her life and in her relationship goes far beyond what's going on with Tracie in Tracie's life. You know, spend a little bit more time dealing with your man and your household issues than you are dealing with his ex-wife and what she's doing. Because I guarantee you she doesn't spend that much time thinking about you.
I would just say as a whole, isn't it important just for people just to watch your words? because you don't know what another person's going through.
I think that's important, but I think in a lot of cases, people say that just to trigger other people. I've seen some comments that people make that make me shake my head and go, how do you know that this person is not going to take what you said to heart? And I'm not saying Tracie, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but there have been stories of people being online bullied that commit suicide. Is that your end goal here? Is your end goal to get somebody to hurt themselves? Then you have more issues than I will ever have. And you know what? You want to focus your hate on somebody, focus it on me, because I just don't give a shit. Don't focus it on somebody who is a little bit more fragile than you are. And if that makes you feel good, if you get online and want to talk all kinds of garbage about people, and you log off and say, God, I really feel good about myself, seek help, because there's something seriously wrong with you. I've always said to people, what you say to me, as long as it's funny, I'll think it's the greatest thing in the world. But most of the comments I see aren't funny. Even the stuff that is said about Katie. Listen, enough. Leave her alone. I mean, if she's going to go down, she doesn't need your help. If she's going to survive, if she's going to succeed, she doesn't need your help. Either sit back and watch because you like her content, or go find something else. There's a billion YouTubes. Watch Sharrell. Sharrell's got a great channel. Do that. Don't worry about other people and how they live their lives, because the stuff that happens online does affect people in their real life. Not everybody. It doesn't affect me, but it affects other people.
Yeah.
Like I woke up to 20 friggin' texts this morning about, did you see what Tracie did? Who cares? Yeah, I dated Tracie Wagaman for about 5 minutes. I have had dates that lasted longer than my relationship with Tracie, but I still consider her one of my best friends. I adore her as a human. And is that really interesting news? I guess Jen's been talking about it forever. Who gives a shit who I date? I don't even care who I date. And anyway, if Jen had such a big problem with this, wouldn't she like for Tracie to date somebody else? Then she wouldn't be focused on her man.
Oh my God.
My understanding is Tracie has a boyfriend right now. I don't know him. I've never met him, but I understand they're really serious and happy. Why don't you just leave him alone? Stay in Ohio and do whatever you people do.
In short, everyone should just kind of mind their own business, because
it's not going to
we
happen.
all have our own problems. Yeah.
It's not going to happen as long as there are people out there who give crappy people attention.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, they just thrive on this attention. I don't get it, but I've always been, even from my teen mom days, the type of person who just doesn't care what was written or what was said about me.
You really don't.
I really don't.
To the extreme, but I do appreciate you coming on here, sharing your story. You didn't have to tell the truth. You could have just said, I'm worried about my friend, and that's it. But you shared your heartfelt experience, which makes your words more valuable, because you're not just talking about it. You're saying, I did this. You can come through it. I did it. It's hard, but.
And you can. If you're struggling with addiction, I promise you can get through it, no matter how bad your addiction is. But that's only going to happen when you are 100% ready. And as far as Tracie goes, I will just say this last thing. She'll get there someday. People need to just not push her, And if she never gets there, that's her choice. But she's a prime example of the addict doesn't make the person. Because if anybody who's ever spent 5 minutes in a room with that woman will tell you, there's not a kinder person on the planet. She doesn't have a hateful bone in her body. Yeah. She just sometimes loses that disconnect between what I want to say and what I'm going to say. Yeah. And she's very reactionary, and that's what people want. I would rather her just kind of laugh stuff off, promote her OnlyFans, and go on about her life.
She's just in a different headspace. She's not there yet. But anyway,
but
thank you for being a friend and trying to stand up for her when she can't for herself.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks for having me on. I knew I was going to say yes eventually. You ask me every day. So
I have another question. You should come back on Friday. You should come back on Friday and we can review 90 Day Fiance or Love.
I'm so over reality TV. It's so stupid. I haven't watched any. I haven't watched any reality TV.
You watch it. You need to come on the show if we're not in the hospital, because this is terrible. How much longer do you think this is going to last?
Well, I'm supposed to be quarantined until I think it's December 2nd, they said. But if this breathing gets any worse, I have to go into the hospital.
You
But
really should, man, and take it serious. You really do.
I am.
Yeah.
Believe me, it's scary. So anybody that's dealing with this out there, my heart really goes out to you.
Oh, it's the worst.
This is awful. Wear your masks, people.
Yeah.
Masks. All right.
Thank you so much, Matt. I'll call you. Thanks for joining in. I wanted to thank everyone that joined the chat at the last minute. We just decided to come on and talk about this. And it's a very serious issue. And I really appreciate Matt sharing his experience, what he's went through with addiction. It's no joke. And it just doesn't affect the addict. It affects everyone around them, your loved ones, everyone. So you guys, let me know what you think about addiction and how to handle it in the comment section. And just, what do you think about all of this? It's a heavy subject that doesn't seem to be going away. Everyone knows someone that's struggling from it. And I look at it as a disease, because it truly is. It's just hard. I'll just put it that way. Thank you, Mod Squad. I'm so sorry. I really was just on the phone. We were talking. We said, let's just go and talk about this publicly, just in case, it might help us. It might help someone else that's struggling with it. Also, thank you for the super chat. You don't have to give, and you do. So I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys later tonight with 90 Day Fiance things. And I really am very sick. Hopefully I'll be better tomorrow. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. If you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. Until next time, see you then. Bye for now.